I'm a different man. Yes, I'm different man. Got them different blends.
Welcome to the Gentlemenhood Show. Hi, my name is Alex Gency. I am the founder of Gentlemenhood and also the author of Unspoken Feelings of a Gentleman and 3 other books as of now. What Gentlemenhood is about is the focus of the brand is to help men, inspire men to be better men, and also give hope to women. The purpose of the Gentlemenhood Show is actually to answer a lot of the DMs and emails that I receive where people have certain questions, want me to address certain topics. I thought it would be best to actually have it in videos for you guys to watch. One of the things that we are going to do on this show is discuss topics that people are afraid to talk about. Topics about relationship that couples need to discuss. Now, to start off with the first sets of questions that we're going to tackle today, I'm going to have a very special guest, my lovely wife.
Hello, my name is Natalie Gency. I'm also known as Poetic Spill on Instagram, and I am the wife to Pierre Allegenti,
aka Gentlemenhood.
Hey.
So my wife is actually going to help me with the show, and she's going to pretty much read off the questions that I often get. Now, before we get started with the questions, if you have any questions that you want to send in to us, you could send it to me via Instagram or download the Gentlemenhood app in the Connect groups. There's a Ask a Gentleman section that you can actually ask me those questions, and they'll be part of the show.
So the first question from one of your supporters is, does social media hurt relationships and how?
Now, I do believe there's this thing that's going on online where people say, social media destroyed my relationship or opened the doorway for, my partner to cheat and so forth. I do not think social media itself hurt any relationship because social media is just a tool. It's just like money. We believe that, the Bible says money, the love of money is the root of all evil. And people somehow believe that money becomes a problem. Money is evil, when really it's not. It's what you do with money. It's what you do with social media that determines whether it's going to help or hurt your relationship. Now, you cannot blame social media for the action of your partner, the actions of your partner, or any of that. It does not hurt relationship. Your relationship, if social media is hurting it, and your relationship have some core issues that needs to be dealt with. Maybe, your partner is insecure and they're looking for people, to feed those insecurities and you're not enough for them. Or maybe your partner do have some character flaws where, they have cheating habits and so forth, where social media actually provide a way for them to do so. But social media itself, I think sometimes it just exposes some of the problems, but not necessarily is the problem. It can be a problem but it depends on the person.
And I think it's how you use social media as
Perfect.
well. If you're putting all of your personal business out on social media, then everyone has a say-so in your relationship. And then you have all this random advice from people who do not have actual wisdom concerning relationships because they don't have the experience. It's just their opinion on your relationship. So I think it also, what you're saying, kind of piggyback, it's how you use social media can also hurt your relationship. It's your choice on what you're doing with your relationship on social media.
Oh, wow. I like that. Now, the one thing that you said I think is very important is the fact that people are getting advice from social media that not necessarily be wisdom. Because as someone who writes online, I post tons of quotes and I think those through. And I've had, I've observed, successful marriages, relationships, and so forth. I've had experiences and things like that. But there are people who are saying things just for the sake of likes, and it's just simply things that other people can identify with and say this is true when they're at a dark stage or bad stage, that this resonate with them, not necessarily because it's true or it's helpful, but simply because of the fact that they caught you at your vulnerable stage. Because there's so much information out there, it's just people don't know how to dissect through it and sometimes pick off the wrong things. But I think that's very important because it, like we said, it's how you use it. And just because you're using it to get inspiration doesn't mean you're being fed the right things. So that's very good.
That was really, really good. I like that perspective. Thank you for answering that.
Problem. Usually, what I think, with this question, that there are people who send in the similar question from different angles. It's just a topic of social media, and I think you have more questions from there.
Yeah. The next question is, how can you prevent social media from hurting your relationship?
There's many different ways. Again, the main thing that I said is, kind of look at how is social media being the problem. Now, to prevent, I think, for men, I can speak for men. Maybe I could let you tackle the women aspect. I think for men, you have to be careful who you follow, what you're reading, and so forth. I know there's a lot of, I've had friends who have problems where their significant other, which is the male, they are looking at half-naked women online. And, I'm not saying this to condemn half-naked women, but what that can start create is troubles in your relationship where you start comparing. You start having lust for these women and you start evaluating your partner through the eyes of those women. Then what happens is that it starts to, more problems start to arise, deep down, where the lust kind of start searching for things like, oh, my wife isn't as beautiful, well, my wife's body isn't as shaped this way, or this and that. Not even wife, even just a girlfriend and so forth. It can start finding little errors inside of you that needs to be, you need to be grown out of, and simply start, hurting your relationship. I know what you're looking at, what you read, who you're communicating with. And some men, they don't believe necessarily in boundaries in relationship. Well, in most cases for themselves, they're like, look, I don't want my lady to hang out with this type of person. But they're having conversation with women under, let's say, direct message, conversation they should not be having. Because sometimes, just because that woman know you're taken, they can look for opportunities to be with you. And if you are not wise, that can be what destroy your relationship, where, let's say, you didn't want to cheat on purpose, because no one cheat, it's intentional. Right. But some guys, they fall into the cheating scenario where they're like, look, I don't know what happened. I simply just fed into it and it happened. Well, you open the door where another woman gets to talk to you, or, even catch you at vulnerable stages where it hurts your relationship. So I think guys definitely have to watch who they follow, what they're reading, and so forth. And most people don't want to have that kind of control because they want to do whatever they want, and it's right. But what they have to consider is, like, when my partner do it, is it okay with me? But if you be mindful, help a lot.
Right. And I think from a woman's perspective is kind of piggybacking off what you're saying about comparing our relationship online with other relationships, or oh hey, such and such couple, they're traveling the world together, they're doing this and that, and why aren't we doing that? And it's just also comparison. For women, we need to not just compare so much. And also too, boundaries. I think it's very important to have boundaries, whether it's on social media or off social media, but you have to create those boundaries in your relationship. Like, for an example, again, just talking about constantly talking about your relationship to everyone else but your partner. That's some ways of preventing social media from hurting your relationship, is to go to your partner. Talk, if something, I know for women, I can't speak for all women, including me, I have that issue. If something bothers me, we kind of like bottle it in, and we'll tell our girlfriends, or we'll tell, we'll comment on certain topics on social media instead of coming to our spouse or our partner. So I think it's important to, communicate.
Yeah, I think that's, just to add to that, that is very important that you mentioned the comparison aspect. I know men, we don't do as much comparing. No, mainly for me, I can speak for me. It's a lot of, from my past experiences, a lot of physical. But I've had, I've heard of the issue of where women say, well, they do here, they travel the world. Well, he buys her nice this, he buys this and that. And you kind of like, they started, in a sense, attacking their men about it. So that's very good. And I think, those are things we have to be mindful about in relationships. Okay, so I think that was good. Now I did remember there's one more about it. So what's the next one? Because usually I try to take 3 questions on the same topic. So.
And the next question is, can social media help your relationship?
I think it can. Again, like I mentioned, is that how you use social media is what matters. I know there's couples. I know I've been in this situation where I see stories of different couples and I read them and it inspires me. And I've had different things that couples said they've done themselves where I pick up those tips and help them. And you could read articles and so many things on social media. It's really, you have to find balance and pick and choose what is going to help your relationship. Because sometimes, people you could make so much out of social media. I do believe it's not the problem. It can hurt or help your relationship. So that's what I would say about this. And I think really it can help or hurt. It's how you use it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's how you use it. For example, like one of the love languages is compliments. Is complimenting your partner, and maybe social media is like the really only way that you can do it, because you work all the time, you don't have a chance to compliment your spouse in front of people, because that's their love language. They like compliments. So social media could be used to compliment your spouse. Early in the morning, compliment them. Hey babe, thank you so much for dinner. My wife made the best dinner. And that could literally make her day. So that could be a positive outlet to use social media with your relationship.
I think that's a good thing too, and a lot of it is balance, because really I didn't think of it that way. Usually I'm like, look, if I try to give it to you personally, a lot of people care from the personal perspective, but I did not think, even you posting about them, because it's something that people do like when they do see themselves online, their partner talking good about them. But do not forget with that. Do not forget to personally compliment your partner. Where it's not they get on social media and they see it, but you want to verbally do it where it feels. You really express how you feel. So I know for guys, it's probably a lot easier to just write it online than to do it, face to face. But practice doing that face to face. With that being said, we just wrapped up the first episode of the Gentlemenhood show. This is Alex Jinsey, Gentlemenhood on all social media outlet, and my beautiful wife, who is Poetic Spills on Instagram. So let us know what you think of the show, what you think, is where it's going. Feel free to send us questions, again, through the Gentlemenhood app. And we're looking forward to hearing from you guys.
And thank you so much for having us. And please send your questions through the app. Again, download the Gentlemenhood app, click on the connect groups, and then you can put in your questions there. That's how we're going to retrieve the questions. So make sure you send us all your questions.
See you later.